spot. Hey, come on and sip your tea. Come taste and see. Relationships can be really relevant. Laughter is medicine. Now tell me how you've been. I believe that you can win. Moment of transparency. Hey.
Hello, welcome to the Mott Spot, a moment of transparency, a place where we have a judge-free zone. We don't judge you at this place, and we allow you to share your story. I'm so glad you tuned in again. We're so excited about what God is doing in this atmosphere of this platform, and I'm grateful that you came to share with me on today. I'm so excited today. I have someone with me that is very dear to me. He's like a son to me. His name is Darrell Hamlet, and we call him Woo Woo. That's his growing up name. We call him Woo Woo. But I was thinking about, in doing the Mott Spot, I think of different things to do, bring people on that have a story that could possibly help someone else out, because even we were talking before, people think that they've gone through that thing themselves and no one else is with them, that they're alone. So I thought, as I think about his life and his journey, and I don't know everything, but I do know that he has really came a long way and very successful today. So I wanted him to share his story as a young man, because he's 27 years old, and I believe that he has really succeeded in life, and I just want him to share his story with us on today. So what I usually do, Darrell, I usually ask questions, just kind of do a little icebreaker.
Okay.
So the first question I'm going to ask: would you rather be in jail for 5 years or be in a coma for a decade?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of jail, but, I think being in a coma, it doesn't allow me a space to grow. I've met a few people that has been in jail, and they've grown a lot in those 5 years, so I got to pick being in jail because that will still give me time to grow and develop.
Absolutely. I was thinking about that as well when I was talking with one of my team members. We was talking about it, and I said, I think I'd rather be in jail because I still could witness.
Yes.
I still could, use my gifts and be able to talk to people. In a coma, I'm no good.
You're
I'm
just
not
there,
productive. Yeah. Like you said, I don't have a place to grow.
Right.
So I will most definitely choose that as well. Okay, so would you rather have another 10 years with your partner? I don't know if you're dating, or a one-night stand with your celebrity crush?
So as I'm 27, it's a funny question. And don't get me wrong, I've had my share of one-night stands. But, I think I would go with the 10 years.
Yes.
Because when you find that person, right, it's like experiencing life. And that one-night stand is just for the moment. So
Yes.
I would definitely say go another 10 years.
Absolutely. I would say that, too. I would go another 10 years with my man instead of having a crush on my celebrity.
Right.
Amen. A one-night stand. And one-night stands are not good. They've been good. Now, they might be good to our flesh.
Right, that's right.
A moment of transparency, but they're not really good. Our flesh just wanted that one night. Amen.
As my grandmother used to say, it might be good to you, but it ain't good for you.
Absolutely, so. Absolutely. Most definitely. So one last question. Would you rather lose your sight or your memories?
I'm going to go with lose my sight because I think a big part of life, and I think the most special thing in life is creating the memories, right? Whether it be with your loved ones or family or through different experiences. I think people have learned to be able to live without the sight through hearing and touching and feeling, so I would still be able to experience it. So I would definitely love to keep my memories for sure.
Wow. That's what one of my team members said, and I struggle with that. I don't know. I think I would rather lose my sight. I don't know. I don't know. I have to. That question.
You gotta look back on that one a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about with the children, right? The things that you guys are experiencing, just forgetting about all of that. Yeah. I don't know if you're able to fully love without your memories. I don't know.
I don't know. I think I would, want to see. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so as I said before, I brought him on because I think that he has a very successful life, and I wanted him to share with young men, young women, that, you know, he did it and it can be done. And coming from a small town, Caswell, Yanceyville, North Carolina, that was the impressive mark from him to bring him on, because it's a small place,
town, yes.
and a small place, but a big thing came out of that small place. So what I would like for you to do is kind of just take us, you know, down the road with how you started as a, you know, teenager, and you graduated from high school and went to college. So just tell us your story. Just share.
Yeah. So a lot. I don't know if you know this or not, but I started working with a friend to the family when I was about 9 years old. And you know, I think that was the start of me having a business mind and kind of showing me how to deal with people and how to leverage relationships. So coming from a small town, and it's so important for people to want to get out of their town because you have limited resources, and you're able to do so much with so little. When out here in the world, there's an abundance of resources, right? You know, I was listening to something from T.D. Jakes, and T.D. Jakes actually said, you know, a lot of times we think that God is going to take our shot for us, but he's not. You know, God will give you all the tools and all the resources, but it's up to you to have the will and the tenacity and the courage to take your shot. So coming through a small town, you know, one of the things that we lack is an example. You know, like so some of my counterparts that I work with now, and I do work for a Fortune 500 company. I'm not going to disclose who and what I do, but you know, they come from so many different backgrounds, and you know, they had a head start because their parents came up in business and ran businesses and things like that. But you know, that doesn't discredit what we do coming from a small town. Because one thing that I got is the hustle and the grind that they don't got, you know.
Yeah.
So when you put somebody in a situation, right? Eric Thomas said, you know, you go get somebody from a third world country and tell them to knock on 30 doors, and then you and tell them they can have six figures, right? The things that we're complaining about, they'll come and do it with an ease, right?
Yes.
So you know, we got to be appreciative of opportunities that we have. So going through high school and going through college, you know, it took a village, right? And you was a big part of that village, you know. I come from a single-parent household. You know, my mother worked all her life and did the things that she had to do to provide. And but it took other people and other resources pouring into me to be able to put me in a position to grow and come out like I did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about, because like you said, you came from a single-parent home, and did you have your father in your life at all?
Yeah, he was in my life, but not to the extent that some people that I know was. You know, we had a very distant relationship, and you know, just a moment of transparency, right? You know, he was there around the holidays, and not to his fault. You know, I don't think he loved me any less. It's just a situation at hand, and then he came up into football games, right? And that's why I talked about it takes a village, right? Because although my father may not have been there at every single moment and kind of guided me, I did have, like I said, the friends of the family that was there and kind of giving me advice, and that's where the village comes in.
Yeah, I can remember even when you would come. Now, he was at my house every weekend, and I can remember him coming and how he would cling to my husband. And when it was literally like when my husband moved, he knew that he can call on Darrell, and he would, you know, be there and do whatever he needed to do. And I seen him as a young man, and I looked at, I knew that you would go somewhere and you would do something. You were very respectful, and I believe that being respectful goes a long way.
It really does.
People respect you more. People look at you differently when you're respectful, when you say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and yes, sir. And I think even with the age group of people now, like, they don't understand how important it is for you to be respectful to your elders.
Right.
And I watch you do that, you know, literally, like helping my husband during the times when, you know, his knee was messed up, and how you would just run to maybe open a door or, you know, just do something for him. And I knew then that you had gained something, that you had grabbed hold of something that was going to be eternal for you, and you were going to be successful. I always thought that you would be successful, and you know.
And you know, in talking about that respect aspect, you know, I think it's important for no matter how successful you get, how big you get, never forget where you come from, right?
Yes.
You know, it's like an elevator pitch, right? You never know who you're in the room with, so you should treat the janitor the same way you treat the CEO.
Absolutely.
Because a title or what you do as a profession, we're all God's children, right?
Absolutely.
So you deserve the same respect as anybody else, and I think that's important, and you know, that's where God continues to distill His blessings down.
So when you let's back up a little bit. So when you left, did you know that you were going to go to college, or did you know because you played football? So let's talk a little bit about that. You making a decision to go to college and to complete college because a lot of your friends started off and they didn't complete.
Yeah.
You know, so what was your zeal? What was your drive?
And I'll tell you, anybody that can play sports, whatever sport it is, I'd say do it. Because football is what instilled the discipline and, kept me going, right? It gave me structure. It showed me how to work together as a team. It showed me how to start something and then finish it and see it all the way through. I think that's so important. So many times we get involved in something and, the road gets a little bumpy and then we just quit and go around. But, I don't think there's any success story that has been a straight road. The road is up and down, So football played a big part. My coaches, right? They played a big part in investing in me and, helping me get through college. And, like we talked about, that was my way of getting out of Yanceyville, right? Because I did get a scholarship to go play football. And without getting out of that small town, I didn't even know about the company that I work for.
Wow.
And it's just because of people don't do that there, And I don't think it's that they don't want to. It's just the fact that they don't know, the lack of knowledge, right? So and giving back to them, I think the first thing, I think we need to create is kind of like a foundation, right? To make people know that there's other opportunities and there's more than what we're seeing every day.
Absolutely. And I think, people are limited to be exposed to new things.
Yes.
If they don't have that exposure, then they don't know. And so do you, I know you go home, you visit, is it different? What do you think when you go to Yanceyville?
That's a very good question. Because so growing up and seeing it, you don't think like, and I hope nobody take this the wrong way, but it's poverty, right?
Yeah.
But when you're in it, you don't really see that it's poverty. And when you go out and you experience something different, and you come back and you say, man,
Yes.
I really came out the trenches,
Yes.
And I'm saying that with the utmost respect because without me getting out and seeing that there was more, I would have settled for something way less than what God had for me. So it was so important to get out there.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And even when you said poverty, it wasn't necessarily a lack of money,
right?
But a lack of resources.
Yes, a lack of resources. 100%,
A lack of wisdom to know that you could do better. Because some people just get stuck in that place and they just accept that this is all that is for me. But if you're not exposed to that, then you do not know if that is more.
Right.
And I think exposure is very important. And, I remember seeing a picture with you with, I guess the people that you work with, and I was so proud. I mean, you had your suit on, and they had their suit on, and you looked so in place. You were not out of place.
Right.
And it was amazing to me to see that, to see you, to see where you came from, and see how you've made successful for yourself. Like I was so proud to see that picture. I was like, look at my woo woo.
I appreciate that, and but I want you to know that you got to be conscious of that too, right? Because even though I am in place in those situations, I am conscious that we do come from different backgrounds, different experiences. Like they had more than I did growing up, So, but like I said, coming from those towns allowed me to be stronger and make my grind even harder because, like I said, we were able to do a lot more with a lot less. So if you tell me that you're going to give me all these resources to make this happen, I did it with less. So I know that I can do it when I come here now. And, a big thing that really carrying me throughout my career is the respect that we talked about. I treat everybody with respect, whether I'm dealing with my clients, my customers, people that I work with, I make sure I give them all the same respect, the same attention. Even though it's competitive, it's a healthy competitive.
Wow.
I want to make sure it's healthy. So.
Wow, that is good. A healthy competitive. That is good. And I think that we need to have experiences that we hadn't dealt with to see where we are. So with that thought, what was your struggle? What was your biggest struggle and leaving Caswell, going to college, being in a successful business. Let's talk about some of your struggles.
My struggles, and like we talked about earlier, it's just not me, right? I think it's something that we all struggle with. It's when you're going through the different seasons. Sometimes you have a season where you got a crowd of people around you, everybody supporting you, everybody rooting on you, and then you get to a point where it's just you. And that's when you really got to dig deep, And I heard a story in the Bible. And it was talking about a young girl, and the young girl had people in the room, and she was dead, like she was cold dead. Jesus walked in the room, and he put everybody out the room. He put everybody out the room, and outside they heard the sound of rumbling feet, and people are thinking like, I know this person is dead. Like, so what I'm saying that to say that as long as you got you and Jesus in the room, you can get through any season, right? So you got to be able to know that who you can call on. And I find motivational speeches and people that can relate to me, right? And I watch those, and that really helps me dig deep, because I know, I say, okay, what season am I in now? Because you got to learn to control your emotions, right? Because a lot of times you get in situations and you get an emotional reaction, right? And I used to blow up all the time. Like when I played football, like I would get to fighting on the football field, but I'm glad that I experienced that, because that's where I learned and I gained my wisdom to control my emotions. Like, it doesn't mean I don't get mad, but I choose not to give my energy to the negative stuff.
Wow. That is good. And the point of being able to identify your season, what season you're in, because sometimes we get in a season where we are celebrating.
Yes.
And then sometimes we get in a season and you like, where's everybody at?
It's like, God, do you want me to grow? Like, what do you want me to do right here?
What is really going on? And, we start having tantrums. I do that myself. Like, I just went through something where I had a tantrum last week. Like, are you serious? But I have to be able to embrace whatever season we're in, because God is allowing us to be in that place, deal with that particular thing, because it's going to grow. It's going to help us grow.
Yes.
We may not see it then, but it will help us grow.
Trust the process and not rush the process.
That's right. I'm telling you, because we want to get out that process and rush right out of it. But truly, that is good.
And that's what I want. For so long I wanted to be rich, like today. But I started to learn to trust and have fun while I'm getting there.
Yes.
Because that's what we talked about with the memories, right? Like, I want to create these memories, because if you give it to me today, I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yes.
I needed to take those losses, right?
Yes.
And so I know how to manage it a lot better.
Yes, that is amazing. And I think that building up of relationships or building up in self-confidence. And I think sometimes where, I'm not talking about pride, but I'm talking, I believe that everyone needs to have a self-confidence.
Yes.
Because when everybody leaves the room, we need to be able to be confident in what God has called us to do, what he has created for us, and for us to be able to know that if this is set before us, regardless of what it is, I can go through it.
That's right.
I can conquer this.
Yep.
It may look like it's so big that I can't conquer it, but I can conquer it because he put it before me.
He put it before, and God already said that we're more than a conqueror.
That's right.
I'm sure to not, why me? Like, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? No, why not me? Right? The things that I've been gave from God, I can handle any obstacle thrown at me. So I don't have a why me mindset. Why not me? Whatever you throw at me, like, I got it. Send it my way. Let's take it.
That's amazing, because I preached a sermon last week. I believe God. Like, no matter what I'm dealing with, no matter what's going on, I believe God. Because He created me. He called me. He when I was in my mother's womb, he predestined us.
That's right.
When we was in our mother's womb.
You even thought about it.
Exactly. So basically, like, we just got to walk this out.
That's right.
We got to walk out. Bishop was preaching, and he was talking about how we got to walk beside our blessing. Walk beside the things that God has called us to do. And it's amazing because seasons change. That's why he said walk beside. So when the season is over, we can leave that and go to our next.
That's right.
So it's walking with it. So that really blessed me. Shout out to Bishop Dawson. Amen.
And also, I saw you had something on your page, I think it was last week or maybe the week before last, but you are enough. right? So many times we think that we're not enough, but we are enough. God placed you here. You are enough, and you got to believe that, right?
Yes, I mean, that as simple as that is.
Yes, as simple as
As
it
simple
is.
as it. But I want to wake up and you are enough.
When you look in the mirror in the morning, you got to wake up and look in the mirror like, I am enough.
Yes.
You know, I don't care what the day throws at me.
Yeah,
I am enough. I can get through it. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think just like the word tells us, life and death is in the power of our tongue.
That's right.
We have to speak because I'm sure you experienced it. Oh, I'm gonna have a bad day. I'm gonna do this. You're speaking that. No, today's gonna be a great day.
Right?
Because I got up and I'm breathing.
That's right.
So today
That's
is going to be a great day. And we have to set our mind. How important, what do you do in the mornings? Do you have any devotional or do you have
I do.
any?
So when I wake up in the morning, first off, I go to the gym, right? So I get up at 5 every day. I go to the gym. I work out for about 40, 45 minutes. I run a couple miles. And then I lay there and I kind of meditate, right? Like I lay down for about 20 minutes where I'm not asleep. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not thinking about anything. You know, I'm just allowing my body to come with my mind and soul, right? And then I look in the mirror. Right? And I'm like, no bad days. We don't have bad days. You might have a bad moment, right? Because bad things do happen. You might have a bad moment, but no bad days. Once that's over, it's over and done. And then, I go through my calendar. I think it's really important to be able to walk and operate on a schedule. Because that's what keeps you at bay. That's what keeps you going. And then somewhere throughout the morning, I take another break. Because a lot of people that get in my profession, they get in the habit of going. And you may do a lot of busy work, but you're not really effective like that, right? Wow. So you got to have the time and you got to be able to think clearly. So you got to make sure your mind is rested in every situation that you're walking in.
Wow. So is that part of your self-care? Like you going to the gym?
Absolutely, yes. The gym is a great way for me to relieve stress, right? Yeah. It's mindless. I don't have to think a lot. It gives me time to clear my mind. I listen to a lot of gospel music, so I listen to gospel music. I have my little praise and worship in the bathroom, per se. Yeah, so absolutely, it is part of that.
Great.
Yeah.
But that's amazing that you... Go ahead.
And talking about self-care, right? So we don't, for a long time, we didn't even think about self-care, how important that is, but that is real. Right? Like when you're on the road to success, you got to make sure you take care of this, right? Because nobody else or nothing else that you're doing is taking care of this, right? You're taking care of everything else, but don't forget to take care of yourself. Yes, very good point.
That is so key because I believe if you don't do self-care, you're going to be burnt out.
That's right.
And you're going to be mean and ugly and frustrated with yourself and everybody around you. Yes. So you have to take that time, whatever that quiet place is for you. Mm-hmm. We were talking earlier, and one of the young ladies was saying that, she loved her husband, her kids spending time, but she liked time with herself. Mm-hmm. And I believe sometimes we kind of get away. Yep. Like me, and I'm just... realizing that, I've taken care of people, I've done things, I've carried people's stuff, and now I'm just really finding myself.
That's right, yes.
I'm 52 years old, and I'm just really finding myself in things that I like to do. Sometimes, I like to listen to music. Yep. My husband watches TV, so it's like I have to have time where I can put my music on, I can listen to it, and, it ministers to me and it soothes me. And you have to find what works for you.
Yes. And can I ask you a question now? So you've been married for a long time. So do you think your relationship has gotten stronger by finding yourself and being able to walk in your own purpose?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I would say my husband has always supported me in ministry or things that I want to do. He's always supported that. But as you get older, you start to change and you start to require and desire different things for yourself. Right. And I believe that, and I can remember him telling me, when you 50, because my husband is 12 years older than me, and, he felt like when I turned 50 that, I'm at the house.
Right.
And I told him, no, baby, you got that mixed up.
Yeah.
I'm 50, and I'm not staying at the house.
Living my best life.
Yes, now it's time to really live. So, I had to embrace that, and then I had to bring him into that space with me and let him know, like, I'm having a desire to do this. I'm having a desire to do that. Yep. Just like,
he might desire to stay at home.
Yeah, and I had to accept that. When I wanted him to go with me, do things, but he's just not that person. Right. So I had to accept that and respect him for that. We do things together, but he's not a social bug like I am. Now he can talk to anybody, you know that.
Yeah.
Talk to him and talk their head off.
Right.
But he would rather be home watching TV or reading a book or watching the news, something like that. Which I would rather be with my friends, kicking it, enjoying
Having a good
myself,
dinner or
having a good
something.
time, going shopping.
Yeah.
So and we kind of found that space with each other.
Right.
As far as what I want to do, what he want to do. But I encouraged him, babe, find something that you like to do.
Yeah.
And then he's telling me, I like this. I like staying at home. I'm like, that. I'm looking like that's so boring.
Yeah, but it's okay.
But that's what he wanted.
But that's
so I
okay.
was like, okay, so you do that, and I'm gonna do this.
And I actually heard somebody, and I asked you that question because I heard somebody say that, and for so long I was always thinking like I gotta find somebody that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody say, they said, no, you're 100% wrong, right?
Yeah.
You got to go and find your own happiness. They got to go and find their own happiness,
right.
and you guys come together and be happy together, and that's how you
right.
last. So you shouldn't dictate whether I'm
That's
happy or
right.
not, right?
That's
Let me be
right.
happy on my own.
That's
You
right.
be happy on your own, and let's come
Absolutely.
together and be happy together in that
Absolutely.
way.
And that is because I even said it over 20-some years. I'm married now. That makes me complete.
Yes.
He didn't make me complete.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We need to be complete before we get to that person. They just come and they add to.
Yep.
And because, you have to think about it. If we want to think that marriage is going to last, they're going to work, but what if that person is no longer there?
That's right.
So your happiness goes?
Yep. That's right.
Your completeness goes?
Yep.
No, so you have to, it is so important for you to know who you are, finding yourself, what you like, and then you bring someone into that space. Since you're talking about that, I know y'all girls watching him because he's a nice-looking man, right? I know y'all watching him. So are you dating? Are you single?
I'm actually single, and I was dating. I was in a relationship for about 2 years, but it was a long distance relationship.
Okay.
And the challenge with long distance relationships is it's really tough to be there when somebody really needs you.
Yes.
If you live 1,000 miles away, and
Yes.
it's a time where you really need me. So we just decided to take a break. But I am on the market, But I've really been taking like the last 6 months to a year to really focus on myself and build myself up, because when I do get in that serious relationship, I want to be the best husband that I could be.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I know what I'm looking for. I know my worth, right?
Yes.
And I think self-love and self-worth is you got to have that before you get involved with anybody, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm making sure that myself is together. So future wife, look, I'm getting myself together for you, I promise.
I like that. He getting himself together. That is amazing to be your age and for you to have the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding, first of all, what you want.
That's right.
And, being able to prepare yourself for your wife. That is amazing that, that you have that mindset because, 27, people is all over the place.
Yeah, and I got that from experience, right?
Yes.
Like I didn't wake up and just had the wisdom.
Absolutely.
I've been through a lot. I've done a lot, and like I said, coming from Yanceyville, like I was involved in a lot of stuff. But that stuff really built me and gave me the mindset that I have now. And honestly, I'm just getting started.
Yes,
I'm just getting started.
Absolutely, that is amazing. So, ladies, he's on the market. And he's special, so be sure when you come correct, okay? So he won't have to be going through no things because he's a sweet person. He has a really good heart. He's amazing. He's smart. He's nice looking. He dresses really nice.
I
So
appreciate that.
he's a good one. He's a keeper.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. So before we leave, I just want to really encourage the people. You see it here. We're not bringing false stories. He's a young man. He's 27. He's doing really good for himself. He got out of a small town. Nothing against Yanceyville, but to even know his worth, and he knew that he had something on the inside of him, and he had to launch out in the deep. Did not know how it was going to be, but he knew that where he was, he could not stay in that place.
That's right.
There was more for him. So we really appreciate him coming on our show.
Yes, and I love the show, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that plug. I appreciate that. So I really thank you for coming coming and sharing with us on today.
Yes.
Is there anything that you would like to say to someone that is your age or someone that is younger, just don't believe in themselves anymore, don't understand? Something that you can share before we close?
Absolutely. And we just talked about it. It was on your page. You are enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what anybody's dealing with, but know that you aren't the only one that's been faced with challenges and had to overcome adversity. Just know that you are enough. And I think the biggest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is successful people don't quit. Right?
Wow.
So don't get started on nothing and then quit, right?
Wow.
And know that you are enough. Keep going, keep fighting. Know that God placed you there and you can handle the battle. He's giving you the tools, right? Just make sure you take your shot.
Amen. I love that. Absolutely. Again, we thank Darrell Hamlet for coming and sharing with us on A Moment of Transparency. If you have a story that you'd like to share, you can reach out to me on my Facebook Messenger, and I will get back with you. Amen. So we thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
My spot. Hey, come on and sip your tea.